One night I was on a small trip and was already going back home. It was around 8 p.m. on a very nice night. There was a nice cool breeze and some 77 degrees. I still had around an hour left to go and my tank was almost empty. I wasn't concerned because I knew there was a gas station nearby. About 10 minutes later I arrived. It was a brand new station that had opened about a year ago. It was usually packed because there was no order in about 3 hours, and for most people it was a mandatory stop. This night, however, it was empty. I was surprised but happy nonetheless to be able to spend as little time as possible and to resume my driving. The store in the back was empty too, but I wasn't going to buy anything. I finished pumping gas into my tank and went to the store to pay for the guy in charge. I went out, and while I was going into my car, suddenly I heard the voice behind me. Hey, got a moment to spare? I turned around. It was a man around 30, dressed in jeans, a black shirt, and a black jacket. He was looking at me in the eye and had his hand inside his pockets. Hey man, what's up? I answered. How can I help you? He kept looking at me for a moment, scanning me from head to toe and back again. My car broke back there. I already called the tow, but I need to check something. Would you help me? That seemed weird, especially when he said that the tow truck was coming. He didn't need my help for anything. Wow, dude, I know nothing about cars. Just be patient and wait. He looked back at me and said, Yeah, maybe you're right. Then he turned to the store and asked me, Do you reckon that guy inside may know anything about it? I shrugged. Then without saying anything, he went for the store. Weird man, I thought, but nothing unheard of. I just thought he wasn't the patient kind and wanted to go as soon as possible. I started my car and moved slowly out of the aisle, but noticed something out of place. The guy had told me that his car was broken, but as much as I scanned the area, there was nothing around. I didn't know why I started to feel uneasy. I felt that the man had lied to me and his intentions were different. I accelerated while looking through my rearview mirror and I saw it. The guy was pointing the store manager with a pistol, and a split of a second later, he shot him 4 times in the chest. Then he turned back and started to run towards me. I hit the gas and my wheel spun for a while until I got some speed. The man shot his remaining 2 bullets. One missed the car and the other hit my right stoplight. I got to the road and went as fast as I could. As I looked one final time through my mirror, the man was arriving slowly to the road, loaded again his gun, and went to the other side into the darkness. I stopped in the gas station on a very hot Wednesday afternoon, not to fill my tank, but to buy a few things inside the store. I parked the car and noticed a few guys with many mechanical tools and equipment. When I stepped out of my car, one of the guys from the crew came close to me. Dude, we are running some maintenance to the gasoline tank. You cannot fill here. There will be no fuel for around another 5 or 6 hours. It's alright, I said. I have a question. You drain all the gasoline? The guy nodded. Did you first vent the vapors? I asked again. The guy looked at me in disbelief and laughed. Yeah, we know that the vapors are the real danger and not the fuel. And we also know how to do our job. Good day to you. I walked away to the store. The guy got mad because of my warning, but the combination was literally explosive. Fuel vapors, high temperature, steel and power tools. I bought the few things I went for. A soda, a bag of chips, a deodorant, and a razor blade. I left the building, and as I kept walking towards my car, saw one of the guys using a power grinder to open a hole in the tank. There were a lot of sparks and steel pieces flying away. The guy who I spoke the first time saw me leaving and gave me the thumbs up and mouthed, "We know what we're doing." But 2 seconds later, it happened. A huge explosion came from the tank and all the 6 guys of the crew were engulfed by it. The shockwave pushed me back 10 feet and landed hardly on the ground. Windows were shattered, ceilings were ripped from their locations. I stood up quickly and watched in horror 3 burning people lying on the ground and 3 more trying to put out the flames unsuccessfully. Then, slowly one by one fell to the ground and remained quiet, fire still emanating from them. I used to work as the manager of a gas station on a lonely road. The owner paid me good money to move there and take care of all business. Despite being on that location, we got many customers on a daily basis, and you won't believe how many weird things happened. Anything that comes to your mind, it happened to me. People running away from police, robbers, people wanting to buy my front door. Once someone came trying to buy the chain we used to shut the main gate because it was really shiny and wanted to wear it around her neck. But of all these many stories, there's one that really creeped me out and made me quit, despite my boss's attempt to retain me by doubling my salary. One particularly uneventful night, a car parked next to one of the pumps. It was moving like it had a mechanical gearbox and the person inside didn't know exactly how to operate it. The car moved, stopped, and more often than not, turned off. From it came a very old man with odd-looking skin, wearing a scarf, a pair of sunglasses, and a brimmed hat. He looked inside the store and made my eyes for a few seconds. He then started to come towards me, but like he didn't know how to, like a baby when he's learning how to walk. He opened the front door and came to the counter. I welcomed him, but he didn't answer. He just stood there for a while looking at me. That attitude was really unnerving and was starting to make me feel uneasy about this man. However, I asked him again if he needed help. Then he slowly raised his finger and pointed to his car without removing his gaze from me. I need help. I do not know how to operate the pump. He spoke in a weird way, dragging his words, like he didn't know exactly how to do it. Under normal circumstances, I would have agreed, but something told me not to move from there. I'm sorry, sir. The store policies indicate that under no circumstances I can leave the counter. The man turned around and went for the car. Got in, after a few seconds, left again and came back. I can't start my car. Would you help me? He asked again, pointing at his car and not removing his gaze from me. No, sir, I'm sorry. I can't leave the counter. He did not react and kept looking at me. After a few more seconds and out of nowhere, he said, I got a puncture. I'm an old man and I need your help. He pointed again at one of his tires that seemed in perfect condition to me. After all of this, I was sure this man was trying to lure me out of the store. Sir, I cannot leave the counter. Would you like me to call you a tow truck? The man didn't react at all. He just turned around and went for the exit. Once he got there, he said, I'll be back, then walked away towards the road. There, he stayed for 2 hours. 2 long hours, still as a statue, looking at me without doing anything else. He then turned around into the darkness and left the car there. I ran to the door and locked it, putting on the closed sign. I wasn't sure of what just had happened and what the man really wanted. When the sun rose the next day, I went out and examined the car. It had blood stains all over the place. The floor had some reddish mud-like substance and smelled like rotten meat. I threw up before I could move away. I was about to call the police when I noticed something on the other side of the road. There was something lying neatly on the ground. I walked slowly there and to my horror saw the glasses, the scarf, the brimmed hat, and the mask of an old man, and just behind it some tracks that led into the fields behind.
If you reached this far, please give us a like, consider subscribing, activate notifications, and follow us on social media. Soon, we'll be back with more Inside the Cleft of Dimensions.